Welcome to Stoic Daily Stoicism. Today, I want to share a truth that most men spend their entire lives ignoring them. It's the very reason so many relationships crumble. Why women lose interest and why men often feel powerless. Most men walk into relationships with the wrong blueprint. They think if they just love harder, sacrifice more, prove loyalty beyond question, then a woman will automatically respect them forever. They assume that effort and consistency guarantee permanent love. But here's the uncomfortable reality. The moment a woman senses that you are emotionally dependent on her, her respect for you begins to die. And here's the kicker. Women don't respect attachment. They respect detachment. Not cruelty, not coldness, not indifference, but that quiet, calm confidence of a man who can say, I value you, I want you in my life, but if necessary, I can walk away and I'll still be fine. That invisible strength is the essence of true masculinity. The more available you are, the more invisible you become to her. Why? Because women are wired to test boundaries. They push, they pull away. They challenge not to ruin the relationship, but to measure strength. And the man who crumbles, who panics when she withdraws, instantly loses value. But the man who holds frame, the man who stays centered, the man who can detach, that man changes her energy completely. Suddenly, her calls increase. Her texts come faster. The same woman who is distant now begins to chase what she thought she had conquered. Why? Because detachment builds mystery. Mystery builds respect. And respect fuels attraction. Most men do the opposite. They overinvest, overexplain, overpromise. And in doing so, they hand away their power. But men who understand detachment force women to respect them. She realizes she cannot control them. So in today's video, we'll break this down step by step. We'll explore why being too nice kills attraction, why love without respect is meaningless, and why mastering detachment makes you unforgettable. If you've ever wondered why she pulled back the moment you gave her everything, if you've ever asked yourself why chasing only makes her colder, this script is going to wake you up. 1. Love dies. Respect remains. One of the biggest myths men believe is that love is permanent. That if a woman loves them today, she'll love them tomorrow, next month, and forever. But here's reality. Love is an emotion, and emotions change. She can feel deeply in love today and wake up 6 months later with different feelings. That doesn't make her a bad person, just makes her human. Love is conditional. It fluctuates with moods, with life circumstances, and with time. But respect is different. Respect isn't based on temporary emotions. It's not based on whether you bought her flowers or said the perfect words. Respect is rooted in how she perceives your character. When she respects you, she sees you as a man she cannot play with. Respect makes her think twice before walking away. Respect makes her see your value even when the butterflies aren't there. This is why some women stay with, they aren't in love with anymore. They respect them. And it's also why some women leave men they once adored, because those men lost their backbone. Once respect is gone, it's almost impossible to get it back. You can't beg, argue, or prove your way into being respected again. Respect is built through how you carry yourself, the standards you enforce, and the way you respond when life tests you. Picture this. 2 men lose their jobs. The first man panics, complains, and leans completely on his girlfriend for emotional rescue. The second man stays calm, reassures her, he'll bounce back, and immediately takes action. Which man earns respect? Not the one crying for comfort, but the one who shows composure under pressure. She may still love both, but only one keeps her respect. And it's respect, not love, that keeps attraction alive in the long run. She doesn't need you to be perfect, but she needs to see that you don't collapse under stress. That's what builds lasting respect. Love fades. Respect endures. 2. Attention is weakness from childhood. Men are told that the way to win a woman is through constant attention. Compliments every hour. Good morning texts every day. Always being available. Society calls this romantic. But here's the truth. The more attention you give, the less she values it. Attention is like money. Print too much of it, and the currency loses value. If your attention is scarce, it feels special. If it's endless, it feels cheap. When she knows you'll drop everything to shower her with validation, she subconsciously marks you as less valuable. That doesn't mean you should ignore her or act cruel. It means your attention must come from choice, not need. It must feel earned, not guaranteed. When you give constant attention, you're telling her your life has nothing more important going on. And here's the truth. Women respect men who have a mission bigger than them. A man's attention is most powerful when it's deliberate, when it's controlled, when it's rare enough to feel valuable. Example, two men text the same woman. The first replies instantly, sends multiple messages, and keeps asking what she's doing. The second replies when free, keeps conversations short, and doesn't chase. Who will she think about more? The second man. His attention is not guaranteed. She wonders what he's doing. She craves it because it's not flooding her inbox. Here's the hard truth. Giving away attention to Isley is like handing out free gold. It loses value. But when she has to earn it, becomes priceless. 3. Detachment creates power. 1 of the strongest positions a man can ever take in a relationship is detachment, not rudeness, not cold indifference, but the ability to step back emotionally and not let her control your state of mind. The moment your happiness depends entirely on her, you've lost. You've given her power over your emotions, your confidence, your life. But when you are detached, you send a different message. I care for you, but I don't need you to validate me. I want you, but I don't depend on you for my identity. That is true strength. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care in balance. You enjoy her presence, but your world doesn't collapse without it. Every woman tests a man in subtle ways, pulling away, acting distant, creating drama. Most men panic. They chase, beg, and overreact. But a detached man remains calm. He doesn't crumble. He doesn't argue. He doesn't lose his center. And ironically, that detachment pulls her closer. Because she realizes this man cannot be controlled. He stands firm. Detachment is not about games. It's about self-control. It's about living in a way that shows, if necessary, you can walk away and still be fine. That presence alone commands respect. 4. Too available is unattractive. 1 of the fastest ways men kill attraction is by being too available, always answering the phone within seconds, always dropping everything to see her, always saying yes, even when it's inconvenient. This doesn't make you loving it, makes you predictable. And what is always available is rarely valued. Too many men confuse availability with love. They think if I'm always there, she'll never leave me. But in reality, the opposite is true. The more you cancel your priorities for her, the more she learns your time doesn't matter. The more you chase her schedule, the more she believes her life is more important than yours. But here's what truly attracts her. A man with direction. A man whose mission comes first. A man who protects his time. It's not about ignoring her. It's about balance. She needs to see that your life doesn't pause just because she called. That you are a man with a path. That's what makes you magnetic. So stop being too available. Stop handing out your time like it's worthless. Start setting boundaries. Start protecting your purpose. Because when she realizes you live for yourself, not just for her, her respect for you skyrockets. 5. Silence speaks louder. Most men underestimate the power of silence. They think every problem requires endless words. Every argument requires proving themselves. Every test requires explanation. But silence often speaks louder than words. When you remain silent, you show strength. You show control. You show you're not shaken by emotion. During conflict, silence is especially powerful. When she raises her voice, throws accusations, or stirs drama, most men overreact. They argue, they beg, they explain, But when you stay calm and silent, you flip the power dynamic. She is left facing her own emotions while you remain unshaken. That's not weakness. It's dominance without effort. Silence also creates mystery. The less you reveal, the more she wonders. Women respect men who don't feel the need to explain every detail. But here's the key. Silence only works when it's calm. If you're silent but visibly angry, it loses power. Real silence says, I don't need to defend myself. I know who I am. Not every challenge requires words. Sometimes the strongest move is to say nothing at all. 6. She tests what she fears. Every man must understand this. Women test men not to destroy them, but to measure them. The more she respects you, the more she will test you. Why? Because deep down, she fears losing control over you. Her tests are ways to check if you're truly as strong as you appear. When she pulls away, when she gives attitude, when she creates drama, she's not always trying to ruin the relationship. She's testing your patience, your confidence, your leadership. Most men fail. They panic, they argue, they beg. But the man who remains calm, who doesn't chase, who doesn't crumble, he passes the test. The more she respects you, the more she will test you. If she never tests you, it often means she doesn't care anymore. So stop fearing her tests. See them as opportunities to prove not to her, but to yourself that you are unshakable. Because 8. The illusion of nice guys. Every man has heard the phrase. Nice guys finish last, but most men completely misunderstand it. Being nice isn't the problem. Kindness, generosity, and empathy are powerful traits. The problem is when nice becomes weakness. Most nice guys aren't genuinely kind. They're strategically nice. They're nice because they want something in return, approval, affection, or intimacy, and women sense this instantly. They can tell when your niceness is authentic versus when it's a mask for neediness. Here's the harsh truth. When you bend over backward just to please her, when you never say no, when you smile through disrespect, you're not being nice. You're being weak. True niceness comes from strength. It's when you're capable of saying no, of setting boundaries, of walking away, yet you still choose kindness. That's power. But fake niceness? That's manipulation. And women don't respect it. If you've ever wondered why women choose men who treat them with firm standards over men who are endlessly sweet, it's not because they want cruelty. It's because they crave strength. Being nice is fine, but being spineless is fatal. 9. The masculine frame. Every relationship has a frame, and the frame is the invisible structure that defines who leads and who follows, who influences and who adapts. If you don't hold the frame, she will, and when she holds it, respect begins to fade. The masculine frame doesn't mean domination. It doesn't mean barking orders or controlling her life. It means you set the tone, the direction, the energy of the relationship. If you're calm, she relaxes. If you're focused, she trusts. If you're chaotic, she feels unsafe. Holding the frame means you decide what you will and will not tolerate. You don't argue for your boundaries, you enforce them silently, through action. Example, if she disrespects you in public, you don't scream or scold. You go silent. You disengage. You leave. That silent withdrawal communicates more powerfully than hours of arguing. A woman may love you, but if you lose the frame, she will eventually lose respect. And once respect is gone, attraction dies soon after. So ask yourself, who controls the frame in your relationship? Or her? 10. Why chasing kills attraction? There's a universal law in human psychology. We chase what we fear losing. When you chase her, you flip that law upside down. You show her that you fear losing her more than she fears losing you. And that imbalance destroys attraction. Think about it. If she pulls away and you chase harder, what does that teach her? It teaches her that she controls the dynamic. It tells her that she can withdraw affection anytime and you'll run to earn it back. But if she pulls away and you remain committed, you don't chase, don't beg. Don't panic. Suddenly the script flips. Now she fears losing you. The hardest truth for most men to accept is this: the more you chase, the more she runs. The less you chase, the more she returns. Not because of manipulation, but because attraction is fueled by polarity. A man who chases gives away polarity. A man who doesn't chase protects it. So stop running after her. Become the man she doesn't want to lose, and she'll do the chasing for you. 11. Emotional self-control. There's one quality that separates respected men from forgotten men. It's emotional self-control. Women respect men who remain calm under pressure. Men who don't explode at small issues. Men who don't sulk when they don't get their way. Every time you lose your temper, beg for validation, or collapse emotionally, you chip away at her respect. Why? Because women look to men for stability. Not perfection, but steadiness. If you're more emotional than her, if your moods swing harder than hers, she loses faith in your leadership. The Stoics taught this centuries ago. A man who masters himself is stronger than one who conquers a city. True self-control doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you don't let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. It means when she tests you, you don't bite the bait. This doesn't just earn respect, it builds trust. Because deep down, every woman wants to know, can I count on him when things get tough? When your emotions are unshakable? Her answer will always be yes. 12. Scarcity versus abundance mindset. Safety mindset says, if I lose her, I'll never find anyone else. Abundance mindset says, if I lose her, I can always attract another. Scarcity makes men desperate. Abundance makes men powerful. The truth is, most men live in scarcity. They think this one woman is their only shot at happiness. And because of that belief, they tolerate disrespect. They overinvest. They settle for less than they deserve. But men who live in abundance are different. They understand women are drawn to strong men. And strong men are never short on options. This doesn't mean you juggle women or live recklessly. It means you never allow yourself to become so attached to one outcome that you forget your worth. Women respect men who can walk away because they know those men live in abundance. Scarcity attracts manipulation. Abundance attracts respect. 13. Why detachment feels dangerous to the average man. Detachment feels scary. He thinks if I stop chasing her, she'll leave. If I don't prove myself, she'll find someone else. But here's the paradox. Detachment doesn't push her away, draws her in. Why? Because detachment communicates strength. It tells her, I enjoy your presence, but I don't need it. My life is already full, already meaningful, already complete. And that's the kind of man she doesn't want to lose. Attachment says, I'll fall apart without you. Detachment says, I'll thrive either way. Which one do you think she respects more? Yes, detachment feels risky, but it's the only strategy that works long term. Because while love fades, respect built on strength never does. 14. Your mission comes. First, here's a truth men often forget. Your purpose must come before your relationship, not because you don't value her, but because your mission defines you. Without a mission, you become lost. And when you're lost, she loses respect. A man without direction becomes clingy. He makes the woman his mission. And that's when she starts pulling away. But when you have a mission bigger than her, something you're building, something you're chasing, she admires you. She sees you as a man in motion. Every great Stoic taught this. Life without purpose is misery, and women sense it. They're drawn to men who are going somewhere. So ask yourself, what's your mission? What wakes you up every morning? What drives you? Because if the answer is only her, then you've already lost the frame. 15. Final Stoic lesson in the end. Every man must remember this. You cannot control her emotions, but you can control your actions. You cannot guarantee her love, but you can command her respect. Love is fragile. Respect is solid. Love fades. Respect endures when you live with detachment. When you hold the frame, when you prioritize your mission, you become unforgettable. Not because you chased, Not because you begged, not because you gave everything away, but because you had the courage to stand firm in who you are. That's the kind of man women respect. That's the kind of man they never forget.